Welcome to my English class. Today we are going to do comprehension. Listen to the story carefully and answer the questions that follow. If you have not heard the previous part, the link is given in the description box. Ghost Trouble, Chapter 2. Well, it isn't our fault, said grandfather, who had given permission to the Public Works Department to cut the tree, which had been on our land. They wanted to widen the road, and the tree and a bit of our wall were in the way, so both had to go. Several people protested, including the Raja of Jinn, who lived across the road and who sometimes asked grandfather over for a game of tennis. That peepal tree has been there for hundreds of years, he said. Who are we to cut it down? We, said the chief engineer, are the PWD, and not even a ghost can prevail against the wishes of the Public Works Department. They brought men with saws and axes, and first they lopped all the branches until the poor tree was quite naked. It must have been at this moment that the prate moved out. Then they sawed away at the trunk until finally the great old people came crashing down on the road, bringing down the telephone wires and an electric pole in the process and knocking a large gap in the Raja's garden wall. It took them 3 days to clear the road, and during that time the chief engineer swallowed a lot of dust and tree pollen. For months afterwards, he complained of a choking feeling, although no doctor could ever find anything in his throat. It's the prate's doing, said the Raja knowingly. They should never have cut that tree. Deprived of his tree, the prate decided that he would live in our house. I first became aware of his presence when I was sitting on the veranda steps reading a book. A tiny chuckling sound came from behind me. I looked around, but no one was to be seen. When I returned to my book, the chuckling started again. I paid no attention. Then a shower of rose petals fell softly on the pages of my open book. The prate wanted me to know he was there. All right, I said. So you have come to stay with us. Now let me read. He went away then, but as a good prate has to be bad in order to justify his existence, it was not long before he was up to all sorts of mischief. He began by hiding grandmother's spectacles. I'm sure I put them down on the dining table, she grumbled. A little later, they were found balanced on the snout of a wild boar whose stuffed and mounted head adorned the veranda wall, a memento of grandfather's hunting trips when he was young. Naturally, I was at first blamed for this prank, but a day or two later, when the spectacles disappeared again, only to be found dangling from the bars of the parrot's cage, it was agreed that I was not to blame, for the parrot had once bitten off a piece of my finger, and I did not go near it any more. The parrot was hanging upside down, trying to peer through one of the lenses. I don't know if they improved his vision, but what he saw certainly made him angry because the pupils of his eyes went very small and he dug his beak into the spectacle frames, leaving them with a permanent dent. I caught them just before they fell to the floor. But even without the help of the spectacles, it seemed that our parrot could see the prate. He would keep turning this way and that, lunging out at unseen fingers and protecting his tail from the twigs of invisible hands. He had always refused to learn to talk, but now he became a quite voluble and began to chatter in some unknown tongue, often screaming with rage and rolling his eyes in a frenzy. We'll have to give that parrot away, said grandmother. He gets more bad-tempered by the day. Grandfather was the next to be troubled. He went into the garden one morning to find all his prize sweet peas broken off and lying on the grass. Chandu thought the sparrows had destroyed the flowers, but we didn't think the birds could have finished off every single bloom just before sunrise. It must be the Pret, said grandfather, and I agreed. The Pret did not trouble me much because he remembered me from his pupil tree days and knew I resented the tree being cut as much as he did. But he liked to catch my attention, and he did this by chuckling and squeaking near me when I was alone, or whispering in my ear when I was with someone else. Gradually, I began to make out the occasional word. He had started learning English. Did you like the story? Comment below and let me know. Now answer the questions posted over here. If you have any queries, post it in the comment box. I shall try to answer it. Thank you for being with me.